Have you ever completed a project that didn't quite meet expectations and then look back and think that the causes were now seemingly obvious? Or have you ever had a sales meeting that didn't go quite your way as key decision makers didn't connect with your message? Or have you ever used lessons learned from previous experience only to find out that there are yet a new set of lessons due to changing circumstances? I think it is safe to say that we have all experienced not meeting expectations at some point in our career. It may not be one of these specific examples, but I wanted to introduce a tool to you called the WWH that can help us get out ahead of failure before it happens by taking proactive action. Immersion is the key to this tool. I want you to facilitate a pre-mortem session with your team. Lay out the objective of your project or meeting or whatever it is that you're about to undertake. Lay out what success is. Be clear and be concise. Both the objective and success should be straightforward. Now paint a picture for your team using your words. Ask them to imagine going through execution, understanding the objective and understanding what success looks like. Now, even with the best efforts of the team, ask them to imagine failure. Ask them to feel the failure like a punch in the gut. They just worked very hard preparing and executing, yet failed to meet expectations. Yes, it should be painful. Now, with the team immersed in failure, ask them who contributed to the failure. This may not be an individual, but could be another team that you must rely on for success. It also may be a role rather than a specific individual. I don't want you to avoid naming the individual, but if you can keep it nameless and still have an effective discussion, then do so. Please ask what they did or didn't do that contributed to the failure. Lastly, ask the team how they can take action now to help avoid the failure. There should be an action plan next to each who and what, but do not jump to action until you get through all the who's and what's. Once you get to the hows, the team will already start pulling themselves out of the immersion in failure. You want to keep them there so that they can fully think through the who's and what's. Document the results in a takeaway for your team. State the objective and success definition up top, and then list out each who, what, and how. This will be a handy resource for the team to reference as they prepare and plan. I would caution that this should not take the place of formal governance that you may follow. If you use formal artifacts such as project plans or process documents or risk logs, continue to do so. I would expect the WWH to feed into those items rather than replace them. Lastly, remember this is not a preemptive finger pointing session, and this is not a forum to air grievances from the past. This is intended to be an objective session that will lead to productive outcomes and allow the team to take proactive action to avoid future failure. Set ground rules with your team up front. Once you conduct one session, the team should get the hang of it. By imagining failure now, we can take proactive action to avoid failure later. Please join me in creating comfort in the workplace by respecting team members and demanding excellence.